Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ACL Brisbane 2015, presented by our sponsors Astro, BenQ, and HyperX. I'm in Maniac, joined by Artemis. And Artemis, we have an amazing weekend of Call of Duty and Halo ahead of us.
Oh, and Maniac, I am so super excited to be here. We've got over 20 teams competing for a chance to dip into the $3,500 prize pool. We, of course, have Mindfreak, who have just come back from Gfinity, and we've got Trident and Avant looking strong as well. So I'm really excited. It's looking like it's going to be a great weekend of Call of Duty.
I am very excited as well, Artemis. And, of course, our friends at Halo are upstairs. They're going to be battling it out for $1,500 in prize as well. And back to our Call of Duty friends, also playing for 10,000 MLG Pro points. And as I said, there is over 20 teams in attendance here today. So we are very excited. The action is going to be intense. And to talk about that and the event in full, I would like to welcome the head of ACL, ACL Vanza.
Thank you, Josh. All right, guys, this is actually a really special event for us here, coming back to Brisbane, where a lot of the head ACL guys sort of started up in Queensland. As some of you may know, we now have moved to Sydney, and we've still got helpers around the country. But this particular setting and this scene here, we've got COD in the room, we've got Halo in the room. It takes me back to 2010. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. So Brisbane 2010, it was our finals event. We were at the regular Land Smash venue out at Cusack, and I'd love to do a quick show of hands from anybody who may have been at that event in 2010. Not many. So a few new faces, but what was different about then, that year in 2010, we started off with 4 Call of Duty teams at our first event in Adelaide, and then towards the end of the year we had about 10 at that Brisbane event, and we had 20 Halo teams. Now there is a little bit of a reversal that we've seen here today. The Call of Duty scene is going from strength to strength, but this is really good to see the Halo guys back in the room after we've had a bit of a quick hiatus with Halo in the last couple of years. So it's really good to see all those guys joining us here today. Thanks for coming down. And of course the Call of Duty guys that we've been putting on these events for. It's a really good feeling. So I just want to give out a couple of quick shout outs, of course, to our sponsors. It's really fantastic to see the support from Bluemouth and Astro Games down here at ACL Brisbane. You can obviously see their presence here is large, and we're really grateful to have them on board, providing all this awesome main stage acts, headset action, and the mix amps are really adding a lot of value to what we're able to offer for the console scene. So I want everyone to give a bit of quick round of applause for Astro, and thanks for coming on board and supporting us. And of course, we do have continued support from BenQ with their awesome monitors, and a new sponsor with HyperX, which is more of the PC gamer kind of scene, but there's a lot of people here who do a little bit of both. So thanks very much to our sponsors, and I just want to wrap up by saying another big piece of news that we've had this week, if you've been paying attention to our social media channels, is that we, of course, partnered with Does Play. And this is, unless you've been living under a rock, is huge news for competitive console scene. And we're very proud to be working with Rob and the team from Does Play. So we're really looking forward to a very strong and bright future for esports guys. And I hope you have a kick-ass event. And good luck and have fun.
Thank you, Vanza. So, as Vanza just pointed out, we're going to have an amazing event this weekend. Also, I'd like to give a quick shout out as well to Xbox Australia for providing a hell of a lot of awesome Xbox One consoles to enable the event. One more thing to also know, guys, the official hashtag for this weekend is ACL Briz. So use that hashtag to keep up to date with all the latest information and results from ACL Brisbane 2015.
Thanks, Vanza. Okay, guys, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. The games are about to begin. I'm super excited, and I hope you're ready. We'll be heading over to Bioacid and Dr. Curry over on Alpha.
Thank you, Artemis. And of course, here we are at ACL Brisbane for 2015. Dr. Curry, the first stop in that ACL circuit. And right now, all these teams set to go head-to-head in some good Call of Duty action.
It's been a while since we've been here in Brisbane. Last time we were here in 2014, we had some hell of a series.
Oh, we did.
the finals, probably some of the best Call of Duty I've ever seen. I'm pumped to be here. We got some absolute powerhouse lineup of teams that are just ready right now to just get into the pool play.
Yeah, first up, of course, here in Pool Play Round 1, with that pro bracket side of things, there will be Mindfreak, one of the teams who is renowned for their skill here in Australia and also around the world. He's finishing 6th over there at Champs. Not so good over there from the Gfinity side of things, but going up against Uproar.iG or Ignitions, as many people call them. And these guys are from New Zealand, but they're a strong team as well.
Yeah, it's safe to say they're almost the best team in New Zealand. So it's great to open up ACL Brisbane with the best Australian team and the best New Zealand team. So this is going to be an absolutely insane event. It's a best of 3, remember, guys, so it is pool play. All the maps do count. I'm ready to go. I don't know how this one's going to go, though.
Of course, hardpoint solo is what we're going to see first off the break here, and these guys obviously want to... Mindfreak will be thinking, okay, let's just try and get this one locked down. Let's just a bit of a warm-up side of things as well. All teams tend to do that in the first game with their pool play. They use it a bit more of a warm-up to try and figure out how their play styles is going to be working here during this weekend. And like many LAN events, it comes down to how you play during that day. You can demolish many teams from the online perspective, but once it comes down to LAN, it's completely different. A bit more of a... More in the line, so to speak, of course, that prize pool that they're playing in everyone's mind as well, and the pro points are on offer. So these guys all want to try and, get their sow their soil, so to speak, and realistically try and finish in first. But I want to see what's going to happen when these guys go head to head in that game number 2. The uplink on comeback, because obviously a lot of teams love uplink and they love comeback.
Yeah, it's actually one of the more entertaining uplink maps to watch. You touched on it briefly. I do want to note this. Mindfreak actually haven't won a map on LAN since COD Champs. Now, that's not a dig at them at all, but they did compete over a COD Champs where they finished 6th. That's 2 Australian teams that had done it back-to-back years. They then got the invite over to Gfinity, and they had with respect to them, a very dismal effort. The guys didn't perform as well as you would have expected. They didn't walk away as a single map. So, here at ACL Brisbane, on the homeland, hopefully they can get one map. So, it'll be interesting. Yeah, we got our fingers crossed here. Come on, Mindfreak can do it. But the guys that they're up against, Ignitions.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big ask. Let's be real here.
And then you got game number 3 there as well, S&D on Detroit. So obviously, like you said, all these games will play out, ladies and gentlemen. So don't go away once you do game number 2 if it is 2 out at that stage. All these teams want to get as many points as they can during pool play to get better seeding, going to double elimination tomorrow. Because obviously, all day today is that pool play situation. And I think round 1 might happen late this afternoon as well. I'm pretty sure winners bracket round 1 will happen. So, keep your eyes for that. Of course, there are 2 streams this year. Of course, you do have here at Alpha. It is, of course, mlg.tv/ACL. And the Bravo stream can be located at mlg.tv/ACL2. I don't think they're up quite yet. They're still getting some things sorted. But once they are up, you'll be able to find them there. And like Maniac mentioned, official hashtag ACL Briz. Include that in all your tweets about this event. You want to make sure that you also tweet at or follow Does Play Stats. They're going to be providing stats all weekend long from all these teams. So a big shout out to them over there at Does Play.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I'd like to see, all the other guys over in the other regions. They're starting to count their stats here. We're catching up to them. Yeah. Speaking of stats, let's just quickly do a little bit of a run through these 2 teams. Do you think Mindfreak are going to win this one convincingly? They're going to win by, let's say, 50 or so more points, or that the New Zealand guys are going to bring it to them?
I think that they'll probably, I want to say they'll win by 50 points or more, but I dare say, obviously you can't count a team out like Uproar. Just their overall singular skill level. You got Hydra, or Carrots now as he's known as, who is just renowned for his S&D nades. Just one of those things that you always
They're a little geeky.
Out. Yeah,
just a little bit.
These guys, you obviously, for any COD veteran, that you spend hours upon hours upon hours on Call of Duty just nading situations and nading places for S&D to figure out where these nades are going to land and when you have to fire them. And that's something that these guys are really renowned for, in my opinion. I've seen them do it time and time again. They know the timing when to do it. They know, exactly location on where you're going to look in the sky, and it always lands right pinpoint drop. It's amazing to see, and hopefully we'll see a little bit as these guys break out. Like we said, they are getting set up and ready to go. It will be that solar hard point to kick things off here in game number 1. Of course, there is a 3-game series, and they all do matter during pool play. You see there on your screens, Mindfreak, of course, Dan's at the closest, and Fighter Shocks, and big old Buzzin flexing his muscles there in the background. We did have, of course, that Uproar.iG team before. Buzzin's just like, I'm captain now. I'm captain now, people.
I am the captain.
So look at me. Look at me. This is my ship.
It's going to be really interesting. I have my doubts. I don't want to be rude to them. I did mention that, but let's just touch on Gfinity a little bit more. They had a magnificent run.
Not too much.
Not too much. They had a magnificent run at COD Champs. You know, they took out TK to secure themselves that 6th spot.
6th place, yep.
Hell of a series. You were there yourself.
Yeah.
You watched it. It was incredible. And first time they got invited, well, they were invited last year, but, you know, first time they've travelled into Europe. They got there a few days early. They had that prep in that, and it just wasn't the same team, to say so. It just didn't seem like they were clicking as well. Buzzo struggled a little bit. Shocks and Fighter even at times.
They all had their down moments, and obviously many teams do that. And at the same point, you don't want to go from finishing 6th at the world at a championship like COD Champs, then to playing how sort of like you did it there at Gfinity. But you know, it happens. It's happened to the best of us. It's happened to the worst of us, and obviously it'll sort of keep happening. And you know, you saw it. Look at Denial. They won COD Champs, and then Gfinity. So like you know, you have your ups and downs. It's like anything.
It's also
like
a curse.
sport.
We have to mention it. Okay, COD Champs 2 years back. We had the Trident T1 Dotters guys. They finished 6th, just like Mindfreak.
5th.
Then went over to an international event and didn't win a map. I don't know. Am I the only one noticing the trend there? Or is it a curse, the AU scene? Curse forever. But no, this is a redemption. It's a redemption. First land back here since, you know, traveling internationally, competing.
Yeah, it is.
We got a lot of lands coming up too, which is going to be awesome. So these guys, they got to get their head down. They got to get in the zone. I do know for a fact that, you know, they did take a bit of a break after Gfinity just to recoup in that. And I know that they've just been hitting it hard for the past week. Want to get that down.
That's what you need to do. You know, you need to sort of just get refreshed, feel refreshed, replenish your fluid. You know, just sort of chill a little bit and then realize, okay, what we have to focus on, what we have to change. Go back, watch those VODs from Gfinity, realize what went wrong for them, and change it up a little bit. You know, see how it plays out. And that's obviously, you know, these guys, look at them. They're all relaxed. They're all having a good time. That's what they're here to do. They're here to win, and they will take this seriously as soon as that game starts. But, you know, between that, these guys are one of those teams that will just be relaxed and chill and laughing in between matches and before matches and after matches. That's what they're like.
Yeah. Ignitions have also spent a fair few hours and days over here in Australia competing. Of course, they were at the Does Play LAN event a few months ago. 2 out of 4 of them did compete under the Mega lineup. They finished 2nd. They were in the grand final. First time a New Zealand team has travelled for Call of Duty into basically another country and gone into the grand final. So they have that history, you know, looking all the way back to the COD Champ qualifiers. APAC, 3 out of 4 of them played. And they did so well. They were one map away from being a New Zealand team going international over to US. Like, these guys have the skill. This is why I'm comparing them. You know, you see all the raw talent that these guys over in New Zealand have, and they're going up against Australia's best. Whether or not Mindfreak are still in this quote-unquote slump from Gfinity, it's going to be really interesting. You know, we're just getting straight into the map now. We're going to see, okay? Quick 10-second prediction. How are they going to go?
It's going to be a 60-point game to Mindfreak.
Okay. I'm writing that down, by the way.
I'm calling it right there. Ladies and gentlemen, as well, we do have listenings available. So we'll jump into a listening perhaps during the uplink, not during the first game here of Hardpoint, but I think during the uplink, it's good to hear them and, you know, just get that idea of how they're running during that time. So, like I said, we will kick things off. We'll jump in with that Mindfreak team. And, of course, COD Vision is on. You can see those names floating off in the distance once we switch over to the in-game mode. So just be aware of that as we get set and ready for action here in game number 1.
And we will be on board with Dens, easily one of the best players in the Australian scene to kick off for us. Loves that bow shot. And it's going to be into towards the pool hardpoint they go. Now, Mindfreak do have the favourable spawns to actually start this one off, of course, going into the second rotation. It's going to be interesting to see how IG play this, whether or not they're going to contest the hills or try and get those rotations down the opposite streets and try and get those favourable spawns.
Yeah, you'll notice just there, Dens just sitting back there, just waiting and trying to hold things off for Fighter, who was inside that hardpoint, trying to lock it down and get some extra points for them. Of course, it is 13-4 right now with that Mindfreak team in the lead, of course, on the Atlas team. You know, just right now, just Fighter just inside there, and you'll notice he's going to take Lover, not a Fighter, and that's just Lincoln for you as we change over to Buzzin now.
Yeah, Buzzin just taking over the role that Denz was doing the first half there, and he's just stopping these guys from IG. You can see them through the COD vision. They're just constantly spawning at the back of the map. They're not getting that much time in the hill. Of course, we're not going to expect too much time to come through this first hill. It's more of a battle for the spawns and get some scrap time here and then. But I'll tell you what, Mindfreak putting in a lot of work here. They've already got those 25 points. In comes the first switching of the hill here over towards the B Street, and Buzzin, that's sneaky.
That's COD timing for you at its best as well. Buckenback getting shot in the back by Buzzin. I'm going to jump over to that IG side of things now. And we're going to king things off a kill. Oh, I wanted to know what Killer Pipe, but Curse of the Caster comes into play. And Hydra drops as well. Now we're Buckenbacking. Finally picks up a kill there for one. Tries for the second. Can't get it with that hip fire. He'll get taken down over to Killer Pipe. Inside the hill, pick up some points for his team.
fair call to Ignitions here. They've been fighting against the spawns here for the past few minutes, and they're actually doing quite well. They got 23 points on the board. It's only an 11-point difference right now, and they're bringing it to Mindfreak right now. It's going to be interesting to see how Mindfreak actually managed to answer back here if they do lose those spawns, because right now, I feel as though that's the only thing that's keeping them in this lead.
Over here now, of course, IG still, they're trying to break this hill control that Mindfreak is starting to get a bit of a set up on here at B Street. You do see that scoreline become 50 to, almost on 50. I called it a bit too prematurely. 49 to 23, there's the 50-point mark for him. And you'll notice that Mindfreak squad are in that hill right now. Shock's getting that last bit of scrap time with the rest of his team rotate and get set up for this next one. Quickly that scoreboard there as well, 13 and 6 for Buzzin.
I was about to note that. I'm like, is this Buzzin playing? He's normally known for, playing a little bit...
Again.
Wow. He's normally known for playing a little bit defensively, not getting as many kills, but the fact that he's just running into these hills, already on 14 kills into the third hill here, he's having a great start.
Yeah, he's really helping out his team with regards to this hill control and realistically going in there quickly to grab it while his teammates come in, then he goes to get set up where he wants to be. You're not just there, his teammates are in there, Shocks is in there getting the points for him, while he just floats around, picks up a couple of kills, watching each way and each break where these players have come from. A 40-point game now to this Mindfreak squad, 70 to 30 it becomes, 20 seconds left on the current hill.
Ignitions here, they're in a bit of a situation here now. Mindfreak are starting to get a few points here. They're not getting controls. They're losing hills like that. That's a huge two-piece by Denzer to pick up the final few seconds here. They really need to lift their game here because Mindfreak, in the first few hills there, they're already starting to run away with this one.
Looking at the minimap, you can see where these players from IG are set up on that next hill, waiting for it to rotate, and of course allowing them to grab some early points here if they can. Oh, that could have been a big two-piece there for Killerpie, but again, could not finish off the second player who comes up in front of him, and you'll see him as they try and push up and make that play right now. Bucket back inside this hill as players from Mindfreak push up that right-hand side towards car park.
Yeah, they actually lost those spawns, which isn't actually ideal for them. They spent a lot of time setting it up, and Mindfreak just broke it just like that. They got a lot of pressure here. That's some huge kills coming down just like that. Mindfreak have already broken this hill unless Killerpie can go big here. He drops. It's as easy as that for Mindfreak, you know? It takes one solid push from working together. They take control of the hill. Now they're just going to rack up more points.
Big shots around there from Scoven, trying to make a play now for this hill control, and again, could not make his way in there. It's Mindfreak really keeping IG as way. There's IG do manage to get a couple down, but again, can't capitalise on that situation. Den's here now. Hydra comes out to take him down. Buzzin picks up the 2, and that'll allow him and Fighter to get some more hill time during those last remaining seconds before rotation. Buzzin 21 and 9. Big efforts out of him so far. It's now a 42-point game.
You really wouldn't have expected it from Buzzo. It's really interesting to see here. He's definitely not in a slump there. Look at those shots they're pre-firing. There's going to be 2 there. Manages to clean up 1 and another one jumping in the hill there. Ignitions, they just bullied off these hard points here. They can't even lock it down right now. The shots from Mindfreak, too strong. As I say that, though, they do actually take a few players out here now. They need to lock down these final 30 seconds. If they can do so, that's going to close the gap. They'll get into a new rotation. Hopefully, it'll be basically a new game for Ignitions, because this has not been an ideal first half for them.
Oh, it hasn't. You'll see Hydra right now on our screens just trying to close this gap in that scoreline. It was a 42-point difference before this hill. Now it's down to 19 and closing. Thanks to IG and thanks to this current location. Hydra managing to stay alive right now and get these extra points with his teammates there to back him up. Now a 10-point difference, 10 seconds left on the current hill during this one. And if they can close this to a tie with this scoreline and that much time remaining in the game, these guys can easily come back and, push into a good lead.
We said it. They just need to lock down that hill for the final 30 seconds. They've done that. Now it's an equal game here. This is the Ignitions I expected to show up right now. It only takes one hill. Looks like their shots have finally warmed up now. But Mindfreak, as I say, that Buzzo on a rampage. He's about to break that 30 bump. We're only 5 minutes into the game here. Shock's just roaming around out the front of this hill, picking off any scraps of the players that are located there. Also looking at the scoreboard there. No one from Ignitions yet to get in the positive.
Quickly looking at the scoreboard there on the opposite side for Mindfreak there as well. You would expect Fighter to be doing a bit more than what he's doing right now in regards to 13 and 18. Same with Shocks there too, 14 and 16. It's Buzzin and of course Dens, who is known for his slaying capabilities, up there with them. But these guys are going to try and, if they want to get that lead back to how they had it, like I said, 42 plus, they need to let, realistically what I see is Buzzin just sit back, anchor a little bit more and get them more kills like he has been. Don't push inside the hill so much. And Dan's, he's just performing well all around. 7 caps to his name, 29-17 in the scoreline, and a 2 streak to his name at the same point. And just like that, they've managed to do that. They've closed that hill out, and they've allowed them now to get a bit of a lead once again with this hill now rotating. Shox is inside.
Big kill there. Ignition should be able to hold on to the spawns here. Shox, though, he's hunting them down. He's picking up time, and look at him. He's just going to push on through. He doesn't want that time. He wants those spawns, and you know what? He's done his job there. Ignition's on the minimap, spawning in the middle of the map there, but now they come flooding on here. Shox, he's got to lock it down right now. He's doing really well. That's a big two-piece there. The assist's actually coming in from Fighter, and just like that, Mindfreak pushing out Ignition. They're just bullying them right now and getting control of everything there. That's actually going to be a team kill coming in, but the rest of them do flow over. That's the last player from Mindfreak that was defending here, and Ignition's, can they recreate what they did in that factory hill, pull in the final 20 seconds and close that distance?
Hopefully they can at the moment. They're looking all right to do so. If Hydra can stay alive here, it'll look even better for him. But he gets taken out from behind there by Buzzin. So now it's going to put Dens and Fighter inside that hill during this last 10 seconds, allowing them to capitalize on that. Well, the rest of his teammates will rotate for the next. They're going to try and challenge now here. IG are already looking to get set up for it and wait for this one to rotate back to factory.
IG have actually been, rotating off these hard points with, like 15 seconds remaining. I'm starting to think of it in, the long term. They've done that for about 3 kills now. That's roughly 50 or so uncontested points that Mindfreak have gotten. Now, they have roughly a 50-point lead here, Dallas. You got to wonder, have those rotations cost them in the long run? Because they're locking it down, but they're not getting the ideal amount.
Obviously, if you rotate at 15 seconds, then you need to set up properly at the next because you can guarantee, you can get 15 seconds back out of that during the first rotate. But it's all about that setup. If you can't get that setup going for you within 15 seconds, then you've just given up 30 points more or less because you've lost 15 seconds from the hard point beforehand. You're going to lose an extra 15 from the one you just failed to set up on.
And Mindfreak have broken that setup. It's so easy for them. Shox now, he's got a lot of people in front of him there. As Killerpie does take out one, he's going to wait for them to poke the corner. There's going to be the other one. His teammate cleans up the last one. They're going to push out right now. And here's that rotation, the 15 seconds of free time that Mindfreak are going to get. Ignitions have to set up here. They don't have time to let Mindfreak get these 10 seconds. All right, kills are getting traded out right now, but I want to keep an eye on that minimap. Look at the spawns. Here comes Dens. He's pushing up that A Street. If he can pick off at least 1 or 2 players here, that's going to be Mindfreak's, key to get into this hill.
Yeah, big push there by all 4 players. They pretty much just took out the whole team of IG as they all pushed together from different sides of the map, allowing them to break that control, break that setup, and get in and take this one out. So look at that scoreline right now, 210 to 130. Now, I called a 60-point game, but it's pushing out and away from that right now.
That was a huge kill there by Ignition to actually get Dens off there. He had first shot, wasn't able to finalize it here. Now, this could cost them. They were in a position where they just needed to lock it down for 20 seconds. They would have had the game here. Ignitions, they're going all out right now. Hydra gets the final one here, 20 seconds. Mindfreak know how important this scrap time is. That's why they're still pushing it right now. One of them is on the rotation now. Fight a big 2-piece Killerpie, last one alive. He should be able to lock this one down. They can still technically get back into this one, but I think Mindfreak have already sealed the deal.
Yeah, looking at that right now, it's a minute left in the game. There's only going to be, well, it looks like 59 seconds, is it? Thereabouts as these guys tick on through. And now it's down to 53 seconds left on the clock. Mathematically impossible right now, but these guys are still going to give it their all and try and close that gap between IG, of course, are down 213 to 148, 45 on the clock. And this is the first hill during that first set of rotation that IG really brought it back in. Now, if they can do it here and close that gap, it'll be a bit of a confidence booster, so to speak, for them. Heading to the next game of that comeback on uplink on comeback. Right now, though, looking at these score lines, I'm waiting for those 40 bombs to come out as well from any other players, but there's 2 of them already. Buzzin on 43, Den's on 42. Fido, he picked up there towards the end, as did Shox there as well. And that's really where you saw that difference, and you saw them when they brought it back. It was when Shox and Fire started getting the extra kills there, Curry.
I'm not sure if it's an inconsistency from Ignitions or just, Mindfreak outplaying them. Now, Ignitions, it's safe to say they had about 4 times where they had full setup on a hill and Mindfreak broke them. I don't know. I want to feel as though that's Mindfreak outclassing them with the plays, but at the same time, it's Ignitions, choking a lot of shots. We did see it throughout the game. Big kills going down in favor of Mindfreak. Those one-on-one gun battles that decide the spawns just being won by specifically Dens and Buzzo in that first half. Fighter and Shox, of course, they did slay. Fighter got the 33 kills. Shox only 29. A little bit unexpected from them, but those bow shots, Buzzo and Dens just, I want to say those 2 just won them that game there. They got the hills, they got the spawns. Well played, well played. I want to see more, though, from Ignitions. I know that they can, bring those scorelines. We saw it. They were down by 40 points. They brought it to equal in that middle hill. They have the skill. They have the potential. They just got to execute it.
Oh, exactly. And at the end of the game, it was plus 76 points to that Mindfreak team, closing it out there for the win in game number 1. Of course, it was solo on a solid hard point that turned out. But like we said, comeback uplink next up here, Dr. Curry. And we believe that this team of IG can bring it back and, can play this one a lot more better. If they do that, then the S&D is anyone's game, in my opinion. If they can take this one back, then, it'll be a great booster during pool play to be up in points up against a team like Mindfreak.
Yeah.
But that being said, obviously, it's a task and a half to do. Ladies and gentlemen, we might throw to a quick commercial break here. And when we come back, like we said, it'll be game number 2. It's going to be comeback uplink between the teams of Plantronics.Mindfreak and Uproar.IG.